coolest lens box ever, am I right? Laowa sent me the probe lens again. Not to review the probe lens, I've already done that, but to review a new and interesting product. As you can see, this is the video probe lens with REPL mount on the end. And this is the exciting new product that I'm gonna have a quick look at in this video. This is a focal reducer for the probe lens, and the idea is that you put the probe lens on this side. It comes for Canon EF or REPL on the probe lens side, and then you have on the other side your camera, which should be a crop sensor camera. They have support for Sony E-mount, Fujifilm X, Canon R, Micro Four Thirds, Panasonic L. And the idea with this focal reducer or adapter is basically that people are mainly using the probe lens for video work. Actually, some big like Hollywood productions are using it, and most video cameras are crop sensor, APS-C or smaller. And if you use the probe lens directly on a crop sensor camera, it doesn't show you that nice 24mm wide view that you would get on full frame, but this focal reducer will make the image circle smaller so that it fits perfectly on an APS-C camera, and thus you will have as nice short depth of field and as wide field of view as you would have on a full frame camera. So it's a very useful product if you're using the probe lens for video work on a crop sensor camera. Let's first try it here on my full frame Sony a7 III for fun, and let's see how it looks. It's very useful to have a standing desk that you can adjust the height of for building small macro photography studio setups. I used a video light here with a diffuser, and then I just put some random small things on my desk and tried filming a bit in Super 35 mode. And with the focal reducer and with the Super 35 mode, you should have the same look as you would get if you just use the probe lens directly on a full frame film camera. And sure enough, it looks wide and nice, and I get the full width that the probe lens can produce. Here we are at 2x magnification, and yeah, it looks pretty sharp and nice, and we will surely look more closely at the sharpness in a moment. Now I'm switching to 1x magnification and backing out. And yes, the focal reducer seems to do its job. But how would it look if I used it on a full frame camera, in full frame mode? Yeah, it looks like this. And this is what we should expect, as the image circle is just compressed a bit by the focal reducer. So you cannot really use this focal reducer to get any wider than the 24mm that the lens has as focal length. It's unfortunately not possible to do that. You will just get a smaller image circle. This is my wife's reaction to me using the probe lens. What about sharpness? Let's do some testing here and see if the focal reducer reduces the sharpness as well as the focal length. Here is a test shot taken with the Sony a6000 24 megapixel camera, and yeah, it's not like perfectly sharp here compared to a shot taken without the focal reducer. And I actually think we lose a tiny bit of sharpness if you compare these two. You lose a tiny bit of sharpness with the focal reducer, which is to be expected because you're adding another lens element. It's kind of like you would use an extender on a telephoto lens. You cannot expect to have exactly the same image quality as before. But since the probe lens is used mostly for video anyway, you don't need like a 24 megapixel resolution that is super duper sharp at every pixel. You just need it to be good for video, like 4K. And for that I think it is suitably sharp. You won't really notice that much. And if I would have had a probe lens and a crop sensor camera, I think I would actually buy this focal reducer. It is a great product for that use case. As you can see, when you're focusing a bit longer distances, you can get some glare and like not perfect image quality. It is much better for close focusing. And also in out of focus areas you get also some of this glare that kind of looks like you would add a Pro Mist filter or something to your lens. So It is not perfect optically, but that is probably something that is pretty hard to do. So I think Laowa did a great product here, and if you have a use for it, you probably already know that, and I would say it's a good purchase, so go ahead and buy it if you need one. Thank you for watching this video, see you very soon again in another one.